A Michigan man was recently arrested in Texas after allegedly threatening on social media to kill Jewish members of the Michigan government. Attorney General Dana Nessel says she was among those targeted. This comes after several anti-Semitic incidents have been reported locally over the last year, as well as across the country, most recently in Los Angeles. Jeff Nguyen from our CBS station in L.A. has more.
The bullet was enter here, and as the exit here.
Gotcha. Guy Tayyeb's jacket is still stained with blood after he was shot during a drive-by Thursday morning. He had just left his synagogue when he got to the crosswalk at Bedford and Pickford Streets, where Tayyeb made eye contact with a driver wearing a mask.
When I moved, I said, bam, 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 3 times.
This is a look at his right arm, covered with blood, moments after this Ring camera captured him going to a friend's home for help. In the video, he's seen wearing a kippah on his head. Thursday night, police arrested 28-year-old Jamie Tran, who's been charged with 2 federal hate crimes and accused of attempted murder.
He faces a statutory maximum sentence of life imprisonment.
Tran is also charged with shooting a second Jewish man in the back a day earlier, about a block from where Tayyeb was attacked. The criminal complaint says Tran acknowledged having intentionally shot 2 victims. Tran said he had selected his victims because of their headgear. And between August and November of 2022, Tran repeatedly texted a former classmate at a dental school anti-Semitic and threatening messages.
Anti-Semitism goes against the values of our city and goes against our humanity. All hate does.
Investigators say Tran was captured in Cathedral City after police tracked him there and got a call about a man with a gun in that area. They say security camera video and Tran's phone placed him at the shootings. Investigators say he's been living out of his car for at least a year and told them he got his gun from someone he didn't know in Arizona. Tayyeb says he and his family left France about 15 years ago because of anti-Semitism, and despite his injury, he returned to his synagogue for service Friday morning.
I need to thank many things, thanks God, because it's very important.
According to the Anti-Defamation League, anti-Semitic attacks reached a record high in the United States in 2021, up 34% from 2020. Joining us now is from Congregation Shaarey Zedek, Rabbi Aaron Starr. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to talk about this as the FBI says the man was threatening to carry out punishment of death to anyone that is Jewish in the Michigan government. When you hear this, and we're talking about the story that Dana Nessel's a part of, what is your reaction?
Thank you, Jeff, for having me on. There are sick people in the world. There are crazy people out there. And then when you have that amplified by the environment in which we're living right now, with the radical polarization, where truth is not something that people care about anymore, and of course with social media amplifying all the messages of hate and evil, it's a scary time right now.
It certainly is. And look, we've seen other incidents 3 years ago with Governor Gretchen Whitmer, the kidnap planning that was stopped. But this is different, where Jewish members of the Michigan government are targeted. It's very specific. So when you hear this, is it a mental health issue? Is it a political issue? Or is it really an anti-Semitic issue?
I think yes is the answer to your question,
To
all of the
them.
above. Jew hatred, which is what anti-Semitism really is. Anti-Semitism is sort of the neat and clean word for Jew hatred. It's considered the oldest hatred. It's been around for thousands of years. And you couple that with the, again, the environment in which we're in right now, where it's okay to attack, right, at least verbally, government officials, leaders who are out there. It's a dangerous time right now when those things all come together.
In your opinion, why do you think there has been an increase over the last few years?
People are angry. People are scared. People are being fed misinformation. Conspiracy theories run amok. And when simple people aren't able to understand the complexities of our world, and we're in a very complex world, they turn to hatred and anger as their outlet.
And how would you stop this? I mean, is there even a way to stop this?
I think our rhetoric matters. Changing the way our politicians talk to each other, changing the way we talk about government would help. Recognizing that everybody is out to do their very best for this country would help. Giving others the benefit of the doubt would help. Of course, when local leaders, religious leaders can bring down their language of hate and discrimination, that would help. So I think we have to change the rhetoric first and foremost, and I think we have to be very careful in how we use social media.
Yeah, and obviously that can be an issue. And you look at, as a whole, we've seen incidents locally, from the subject we're talking about right now with Dana Nessel and other politicians from Michigan. We saw it in Ann Arbor months ago, where anti-Semitic flyers were left at the homes of a community there, a neighborhood. And we saw it a few months ago at Temple Beth El in Bloomfield Township. There was a guy with a mental health history, issues with mental health, showing up at the synagogue as parents are dropping off their children for school, and he's giving them a hard time and attacking them. And so we're seeing this uptick right here in the community. Are these the kind of tough conversations you have with your congregation?
It's on our minds. It's in our hearts. We're afraid. It's a community that has its anxiety elevated because of all of the hate that's going around. So we talk about it. Of course we talk about it. One of the things we can do to counter it, of course, is to overcome our fears and actually show up at our houses of worship, be present at the synagogue, be proud of our Judaism. The other thing that we're working really hard to do is partner with our interfaith leaders. So here in Southfield, where I'm a rabbi, we have an amazing organization called Lift Up Southfield, in which ministers, priests, rabbis come together, form friendships and relationships. Our communities come together. We can see each other as people and not just the labels that others put on us.
Do you think people in your congregation, and I don't mean to single your congregation out here, you're obviously not involved in this situation, but do you feel scared going to synagogue every day?
I don't feel scared going to synagogue. I choose not to feel scared going to synagogue every day. I'd be justified. I would say that synagogues across this country and around the world spend far more money on security and far more resources invested in security than any other religious institution.
And it's not just around the high holidays anymore.
That's
it's
right.
not just at Yom Kippur or Passover. It seems like it's all the time, right? And I don't think we see that so much if you walk into a church.
That's exactly right. It's different. We have to protect ourselves. We're grateful the Southfield police are amazing to us. And really, we rely on the police and we rely on these democratic institutions that we've established to follow the rule of law and secure the rule of law. And we're very blessed that they're doing such a good job with it. But yeah, we spend a lot of time thinking about our own security and making sure, to the best of our ability, that our building and each and every person who comes into it is safe.
And when you hear a story like this with Dana Nessel and other Jewish lawmakers in Michigan, do you feel as if with your officials at your congregation need to step up security and have this conversation again, not just with your members, but also as an institution on how to handle situations like this?
We are always discussing with the FBI, with local police. We're talking to each other. We're securing the best security advisors that we can to do everything we can to our best of our ability to keep everybody safe. It's a dangerous world out there, and we have to take the necessary steps to make sure our people are safe.
When you hear these conversations and when you hear these stories, we showed one just a few moments ago in Los Angeles, when you think about everything that is going on and all the hate, how much do you think people outside of the Jewish community even know that this exists?
I'm not sure how much people outside the Jewish community
or
really,
even care.
Really, I think people care. I think the majority of this country are good, decent human beings who don't hate, who don't discriminate, who really believe in love and honoring each and every person. I think that's the vast majority of our country. But because of social media, the voices of evil are often over-amplified. I think because of the polarization in our country, people are caught up in mistruths, misinformation, and the spreading of lies. But I think when it comes down to it, the vast majority of people around us are good, decent people who care and who want to help.
So is there more of the blame on social media here as we see this uptick? Do you think that if you could pinpoint something, that's it? Do you think it's the pandemic? If you could pinpoint one thing, if that's even possible, what would it be?
Jew hatred is the oldest hatred, so I don't think it's one thing. Social media certainly has amplified the message of haters to be able to get their words out across the country, around the world. So that is certainly a big influence. But I think the era of radical polarization in which we find ourselves, again, coming back to the rhetoric and the way people speak to each other, is unacceptable, and I think it's amplifying the hate that exists.
Well, Rabbi, we certainly appreciate your time. Rabbi Aaron Starr, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hopefully this enlightens and educates and helps stop the hate. After the break, Ahmed is back with a look at your forecast.